Well, now there's a new story about the special counsel. He's announced that, hey, I'm going to be looking for an indictment against Hunter Biden on this gun charge by the end of September. Now it looks like it's specific to the firearm charge, which was one of the lesser, I mean, it's a serious charge, but one of the lesser charges when you have tax evasion charges that were potentially hanging out there. We haven't really gotten word or clarity on those yet.
Where was he with a gun charge 5 years ago? How hard is it to indict or to get the grand jury to indict on a gun charge? All it is filling out a federal form under Section 922 of Title 18, which says I'm a drug user, and if you do, you can't have a gun. I could have indicted that in 3 days.
It seems like a charge like this, which is a fairly simple one, would be part of a much larger, like a tax, like, you know, multiple. You're getting hit with multiple counts. Is this even worth bringing a single charge like this? I mean, how serious? Yes, I guess a felony, but they tried to settle this out.
It's what we call a throwaway charge, but it should have been in there.
Just said, everybody?
That's what it feels like.
Say that again.
It's a throwaway charge is what it is. It's not the substantive guts of the investigation. I would have indicted it, had the grand jury indicted on that, it provided that I had also had tax evasion and all the other dealings so that they, if they wanted to, could compromise on the gun charge or throw it out or say we're going to give him something by not finding him guilty on the gun charge.
We're talking about the gun charge. We're not really talking about anything that's come out. We're not talking about the WhatsApp messages about his father being there in the meetings, the pressure, or
that's not
$10 million from Ukraine, all of this. This is about what he wrote in his book. So he said he was a drug addict, and that matched up with the time period where he applied for a firearm, which it says on there you've got to mark the form if you're using drugs. And so he admitted to it already, which again, and so it is a federal crime. I'm not trying to play it down, but of the charges he was even facing with the tax charges, this would have been the weakest thing. And that's all we've gotten an indication. I do get what you're saying is, again, I think, Todd, what you're saying is this is not like breathing life into what David Weiss's plan has been doing. In fact, this just looks like a mess to me.
This is what Weiss's problem is. You had this ton and mountain of evidence that you've accumulated on tax evasion charges. Then you had a gun charge that you could throw in. You indict. You go to the grand jury and you say, here's my evidence. You present the indictment and ask for the return of an indictment. It's very simple. You put the gun charge in as a compromise charge so that the grand jury can either say, I'm going to no bill this, or a trial jury, if you do true bill it, can say, I'm going to throw away the charge. But you act. You don't wait till the statute of limitations has almost run and then give this memo to the district judge saying, I'm going to indict by September 29th.
Have you ever seen that?
No, never. Never have seen that.
You were a prosecutor?
I was a prosecutor 3 years and 9 years as an assistant district attorney and 5 years as an assistant United States attorney. I know my prosecution pretty good.
And this is like they're making this stuff up as they go along.
That's what it seems like to people. I think to both sides. I was on a show earlier today, conservative host, and we said, this is what we've been arguing against with President Trump, too, is that you wait too long. We don't think that you start bringing these charges against elected officials or their direct relatives because it appears like election influence. It does look like, I'll be honest on it. David Weiss did not have some come to Jesus moment where he decided, Hunter Biden, this Ukrainian deal is something I need to reinvestigate.
No.
That has nothing to do with this.
This is all politics.
He got pressure because the judge threw out the plea deal. And then he had no charges, and they got to have something with Hunter Biden because they got to have something that they can close this out with.
Prediction, 60 days they come up with a plea agreement. Andy, that's what I think.
It's possible. With Abby Lowe, you don't play games because he's a serious defense lawyer.
This seems very bizarre. Don't think this is like a reawakening of David Weiss or that he's doing this for the right reasons. Really was forced into doing this by a court. It looks like those tax charges have disappeared. They've been dismissed as of now.
Yeah.
So they have to bring those again, which brings up statute of limitations issue, which of course the defense would argue. And again, that failed plea deal was a big failure by the federal government. It wasn't just a tough move on the Hunter Biden team, but also put the special counsel, because of this way too long of an investigation into basic tax. You didn't pay your taxes. They knew the amount. They knew the amount that he had paid back, and you filed to get a gun while you told everyone you were a drug addict. So very basic.
Yeah, but
like Andy McCarthy says, you could have gotten these indictments in a day years ago.